Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Math Made Easy with Terry in 10 minutes. So we're going to go straight to parallel line equation. So if you've not subscribed, please do so now and click the notification bell so you'll be the first person to know when I upload the next video, all right? All right, so we're going to talk about how do we solve questions on parallel line equation. So how do you know when two lines are parallel? Their slope must be the same, okay? If two lines are parallel, their slope must be the same. So I'm going to write it down here so that for those taking notes, you know what to do. So how do we know, okay, when two lines are parallel? So how do you know when two lines are parallel? Okay, their slope must be the same. All right, so their slope, okay, their slope are the same. So basically, what we are saying, the slope of the first one, M1, is equal to the slope of the what? Second one. So when two lines are parallel, the slope of the first one is equal to the slope of the second one. So you're having this ones, you're having A and B, and if this is the second one, C and what? D. This is Y1 and this is Y2, okay? So like I said in the previous video, Y1 is M1 X1 plus C1. So this is for line AB. I've done this in the previous video. And Y2 is going to be M2 X2 plus C2. And this is for line what? CD. So if line Y1 and Y2 are parallel, okay? So if both of them are parallel, then M1 must be equal to what? M2. So if these two lines are parallel, the slope of the first line, AB, will be equal to the slope of the line CD. All right, so let us solve some questions now. All right, let's solve some questions. There are three rules I'm going to talk about here. So there are three rules and three ways of solving this question. All right, there are three ways and three rules of solving this. So we're going to start. Number one, using the appropriate method. Okay, so we're going to use the appropriate method. So you could use any method. You need to find the equation of the first line. So appropriate method. So in the previous video series, I talked about several methods. We talked about the slope-intercept form, the 2-point, the 1-point, and the standard form, depending the question you have. So, but you have to then find the equation of the line, okay? We've done this before. So find the equation of the line. Okay, for the first line. Okay. So the first line, so that means I'm referring to the Y1, okay? You're going to find the equation of the line for the first line, okay? And write it in the slope-intercept form. So you're going to write it in the slope-intercept form. Okay? So you're going to write in the slope-intercept form. So you're going to get Y1 is equal to M1 X1 plus C1. Now, when you've done that, you've gotten the slope, the equation of the line, you then have to then use, okay, you use the M1. So that means this M1 you got here from step one, okay, you use the M1 from step one to be the slope for the second line, okay? Now you use it to be the slope for the second line. So that means I'm referring to what? Y2. So that means because we know that M1 must be equal to what? M2 if both lines are parallel. Okay, so that means I'm going to use this M1 to be the slope for the second line. Then after that, I'm going to find the equation of the second line, like the Y2. So I'm going to find the equation of the second line. Okay, that is the Y2, okay, using the appropriate method. Using appropriate method, okay? So basically, the method you will use is based on the information you have, okay? So based on the information. So for instance, if you are given 2 points and no slope, you use the 2-point form, which is the y minus y1 is equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1, mx minus x1. If you have 1 point and 1 slope, you have to use the 1-point form, which is y minus y1, mx minus x1, and the rest of it. So based on the information given, okay? But you have to leave your answer, okay, in the slope-intercept form. So you leave your answer in the slope-intercept form. So that is, I'm referring to the y2 is equal to m2 x2 plus c2. So you leave your answer in this form. And remember, we've talked about different methods or different forms of equation of a line. If you want to, just a reminder, okay? I told you that we have the y is equal to mx plus c, which is the slope-intercept form. Okay. We talked about other forms. I talked about the ax plus by plus c, and I told you is the what? The standard form. Then we also talked about the y minus y1 is equal to mx minus x1, which is the point slope form. Okay. We talked about this. And I also told you that we also have y minus y1, but instead of having m, you have the y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1, x minus x1, and this is the what? The 2-point form. Okay, so remember I said regardless, you need to still leave your answer in the slope-intercept form, except you were told otherwise. Okay, so I've talked about this in the previous video. Please go back and look at it and know how to calculate the equation of a line using this. So let's pick an example here and apply what we just learned. So let's just say we have find the equation, okay? Find the equation of the line. Find the equation of a line that is parallel. Okay, find the equation of a line that is parallel to y is equal to 3x plus 7 and passes through okay, and passes through the points 5 and 4. Okay, find the line that is parallel to y is equal to 3x plus 7 and passes through the point 5 and 4. Now, let's go. The first step is say that using the appropriate method, find the equation of the first line and write it in the slope-intercept form. So the equation of the first line, I will write it in the slope-intercept form. So let's go back. Now, if you look at it, step 1, we're lucky as well. The equation of the line has already been written in the slope-intercept form already for us. So, wow, good job. So we're just moving to the next one, okay? So that means in the slope-intercept form, the m, okay, the m1, which is the line equation of the slope of the first line, is 3, and the intercept of the first line is what? 7, okay? So it was given that, we've done that already for us. That had been done for us. So let's go to the next one, step 2. Step 2 now said that what we need to do is that we need to use the M1 from step 1 to be the slope of the second line, all right? So we know that the slope of the first line is equal to 3, but we know that M1 must be equal to M2 if they are what? Parallel, because they are both what? Parallel. So because M1 must be equal to M2, so therefore M2 must also be equal to what? 3. Are you seeing it? So M2 must also be equal to 3. Now step 3, okay? We're now using the find the equation of the second line using the appropriate method based on the information given, all right? So we're looking for the equation of the second line now. So let's go to the second line. We know the slope of the second line, which is the M2, was equal to what? 3. We know also that they gave us the points as well. The points of the second line where it passes through, so x1 and what? y1. So we know that our x1 is equal to 5 and our y1 is equal to what? 4. So we have one slope and 1 point. So we have one slope and 1 point. So what method do you think we should use? Yes, we're going to use the what? The slope or the point slope form. So we're going to use the y minus y1 is equal to mx minus what? x1. So that'll give us y minus y1 is 4 is equal to m, which is what? 3, x minus what? 5. And that'll give us y minus 4 is equal to 3x minus what? 15. Take minus 4 to the other side. So it's going to give you y is going to be 3x minus 15 plus 4. Then the second line now is going to be y is equal to 3x minus 11. Are you seeing it? So this is the second line, and this is the what? First line. Are you seeing it? So this was the first line that they gave to us, and this one is the second line. Now, if you look at this now, if you want to check, you will see that the slope of the first line we got was y is equal to 3x plus 7. That's the first line, okay? This is the first line. Now, the second line was what? Y is equal to 3x minus 11. Are you seeing something here? You can see the slope of the first line, which is 3, is exactly the slope of the what? The second line. So because when two lines are parallel, like I told you, that the M1 must be equal to the what? The M2. Is that all right? Okay, so we're going to pick another question now. Let's assume we have this, okay? Let's assume we have this question. We have the straight line. We're told that the straight line P, okay? The straight line P has the equation. So the straight line P has the equation 5x minus 6y plus 10 is equal to what? 0. We're now told that this line is parallel to T. Are you seeing it? And passes through the coordinates six and 3. Now it said you should find the equation of T. Okay, good. Now let's start. Now the first thing you will notice as well is that we're told that we need to use the appropriate method, find the equation of the line of the first line, okay? And write it in the slope-intercept form. So this is the slope-intercept form. y1 is equal to m1 x1 plus c. So let's go. Now, the straight line P, so that means the y1 now is P, but it was written in what? 5x minus 6y plus 10 equal to 0. What does this suggest? So this suggests that this was written in a what? In a standard form. So remember I told you that there are 4 ways of equation of a line. We have the standard form, which was the ax plus by plus c. So you can see that this was written like that, ax plus by plus c. But when you look at the rules say that you have to write it in the slope-intercept what? Form. So we need to convert this to a slope-intercept form. So how do you go about this? So we need to convert this to a slope-intercept form. So what do? I remember the slope-intercept form is in the form of y is equal to mx plus c. So I told you to get to a slope-intercept form, you need to make y the subject of the formula, right? So we have minus 5x minus 6y plus 10 is equal to 0. So we want to convert it to this form, right? So what do? You take all the variables away from x. So you're going to have minus 6y is equal to minus 5x minus 10. Then you divide both sides by minus 6 to make y the subject. So minus 6 and minus 6. Minus 6 minus 6 will give you y is equal to minus divided by minus will give you plus. Will give you 5 over 6x plus 10 over what? 6. And this is the equation of the line. Okay? So if you want to, you can also further simplify this. If you want to, you can simplify this to be y is equal to 5 over 6 x plus 2 here, 3, 2 here, 5. 5 over what? 3 for this. So therefore, we can now say the slope for this, so that means the m1, the slope for this, the m1, is equal to 5 over 6, and the c1, which is the intercept of the first line, is going to be 5 over 3. And that will be the answer for that. Now we've gotten that, we've gotten the y equals mx plus c. We're now told that we have to use the m1 from step 1 to be the slope for the second line. All right, so let's go back to it. So the m1 we have here is 5 over 6. So we can now say step 2. Okay, the m1 we have is 5 over 6. And when parallel, m1 is equal to m2, right? So therefore, we can say m2 as well is going to be equal to what? 5 over 6. Are you seeing it? All right, then step 3. We have at step 3, find the equation of the second line using appropriate method based on the information given. All right, based on the information given. So let's go back to the information. We're given that, and we're also given 1 point. Are you seeing it? We're only given 1 point. So we're only given the x1 and the what? The y1. So that means we can get step 3 now. Step 3, we know the slope for the second line was what? 5 over 6. We know the x1 was 6, and the y1 was 3. So x1 was 6, and the y1 was what? 3. We have 1 point and 1 slope. So you're going to use the 1 point form, okay? And that 1 point form is what? Y minus y1 is equal to mx minus what? x1. And that will give you y minus y1 is 3 is equal to 5 over 6. X minus x1 is what? 6. Then that will give us y minus 3 is equal to 5x over 6 minus 5 over 6 and minus 6 will give you what? Minus 5. You take 3 to the other side, so it's going to give you y will be equal to 5 over 6 x minus 5 plus 3. And then that is going to give us y will be equal to 5 over 6 x minus 5 plus 3 will give you minus 2. And that will be the equation of the line for the second one. So now, if you want to check to be sure, now this is line what? This was called line T, okay? So this is the equation of line T. Now, for P, we're given P. We know P was 5, y is equal to 5 over 6x plus 5 over 3. So for line P, is that correct? Yes. So P was equal to y is equal to 5 over 6x, okay, plus 5 over 3. And T, which what we just solved now, was y is equal to 5 over 6x minus 2. So if you look at this, both of them, okay, have what? The same slope. Are you seeing it? Both of them have the same slope. So that because they have the same slope, they must be what? Parallel as well. Also, as I told you, you could also be asked to leave your answer for line T in the standard form. So that means you take it all to the other side. And if they ask that A, B, and C are integers, then you have to multiply by the denominator. So for example, if we're asked to leave this in standard form, so we have y is equal to 5 over 6x minus 2, okay? I'll take x to the other side. It's going to be minus 5 over 6x plus y. Take 2 to the other side. It's going to be plus 2 is equal to 0, all right? To remove the 6, I have to then multiply each of this by what? 6. So that'll give me minus 5x plus 6y plus 12 is equal to what? 0. So if you are told to leave this, the equation of line T, this is T in standard form, all right? But if not, you don't need to do this. Usually the slope-intercept form is usually the most appropriate, or usually the general form of a line equation. All right, so that will be that for that, okay? And yes, so that's how you do it. So if it's if two lines are parallel, the M1 is equal to the M2, okay? So you get the line for the first one, then you put it in the form of y is equal to mx plus c. The M1 is equal to the M2, then the slope, then you use the normal equation of the line to get this. It could be the standard form, it could be the point slope form, 2-point form, depending on the question that is given. Now, the next one I'm going to talk about now is going to be perpendicular line. Is that okay? Perpendicular line. So I'm going to see you in the next video. If you've not subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for. Do subscribe so that you'll be the first person to know when I upload new videos, okay? So I'm going to see you soon.